how's it going? This is Nanice, and this is your astrology reading for the new moon in Aquarius, which is happening on Tuesday, February 1st at 7:45 a.m. Cairo, Egypt time. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. If you have not yet already, please subscribe, please like, please comment, please share this video with your friends who may be interested in this, because all these actions help to support my channel to grow. So thank you so much for helping me out. So a new moon, as my teacher Achyuta Bhava said, is like a gong sound which resonates for the entire lunar month, so for the next 28 days. So it's like the gong sounds and it resonates. So what the sky looks like at the time of the new moon is very important to tone the whole upcoming month. And of course it influences and it sets the stage for the full moon, which happens 2 weeks later. So what kind of a new moon is this? Well, this new moon is a very Saturnian new moon. The sun and the moon are both in the part of the sky which is Aquarius, which is where the sun is in exile. So the sun is in the furthest part away from the sky from where they are at home, which is in Leo. And the sun is in exile, and the planet Saturn, the Lord of Darkness, reigns supreme in Aquarius. So it is the iciest, coldest, and most, in a way, impersonal part of the sky. So Saturn is a planet that is symbolic of seriousness, heaviness, coldness, restrictiveness, borders and boundaries, oppression, exile, discipline. And in the sign of Aquarius, it is the outcast, the underdog, the exiled, the alien, the different. These are the kind of themes that are connected with this new moon, with this next lunar cycle. Perhaps we're going to find over the next 28 days and leading up to the full moon, we're going to encounter echoings of whatever happened in our lives around February, June, and December. This is when Saturn squared Uranus, and there was a clash of energies between the old and the new. So look back at your life around those months, because there could be an echoing of those themes. However, what's going to be different now is that we're going to have the energy and the will and perhaps the resources to putting in the hard work that is necessary to bring about the changes that we want to implement based on the happenings that happened around those months last year. In the news headlines, there may be further disclosure of scandals related to abuse and exploitation of women, children, and especially by high profile people. There may be further disclosures of people in power who abused their power to achieve their current status of eminence. And the focal point overall is shifted more towards the one that's been outcast, or the underdog, the masses, and the non-celebrities. I'd like to add that a lot of people talk about Saturn like, oh, Saturn, like, oh, Saturn sucks. And, Saturn's the party pooper. And I really don't believe that. I am a Saturn fan. I feel like all the good things that have happened in my life, a lot of it has to do with Saturnine qualities. So I don't, although yes, Saturn, it can be heavy, but I believe Saturn deserves to be seen a little bit differently, or a little bit differently to what I see out there, like in social media and on other astrologers' videos and stuff. Like Saturn is like, oh, Saturn is like, Debbie Downer Saturn. But Saturn, people tend to forget that Saturn, being the planet that is occupying the boundary between the unseen realm and the visible realm, because it's the furthest away visible planet from where we are. So it's a highly mystical and spiritual planet, and despite its dark side, Saturn was the ruler of the golden age, and for gold to exist, there needs to be lead. For darkness to exist, there needs to be light. For levity and lightness to exist, there needs to be seriousness and heaviness. There needs to be this contrast for there to be a whole. So in this darkness of this new moon, I urge you to lean into this darkness, to lean into this seriousness and the discipline and the grind, and because there are some beautiful things there that are hidden. And if we can lean into that, and if we can, no one gets spiritual in their lives because things are going great. Usually people get really spiritual because things are tough. So lean into that and see what beauty manifests 2 weeks from now or 6 months from now, because I guarantee you, the more that you can lean into that Saturnine darkness, you will find gold. So that's all I have for the collective portion for this reading. Now I'm going to go through each individual zodiac sign. I recommend that you watch your rising sign. If you don't know your rising sign, I put a link to a free online calculator. If you know your birth time, you can figure it out by using the online calculator. You can also contact me and I can help you out. If you don't know your time of birth, if you're born during the day, go with your sun sign. If you're born at night, go with your moon sign. If you don't know if you're born during the day or night, then just go with your sun sign. So for Aries, this new moon is happening in your 11th house of aspirations, friends, allies, benefactors, and social groups. Wishes for the future as well is a theme for the 11th house. So there's a new seed being planted, a new beginning, possibly a serious or a very meaningful and heavy in a way. Heavy, not necessarily in a bad way, but like one that carries a lot of weight to it. A new start having to do with those topics. For Taurus, this is happening in your 10th house of career, public reputation, what you are known in the public for. So if you don't have a career, maybe it's you're a stay-at-home parent or you're a caregiver. So it's how you spend your time. It's also the house of honors, privileges, and advancements. So there's going to be a new beginning having to do with those topics that carry with it a kind of weightiness and themes of changes that you experienced in 2021. A new beginning based on the learnings from last year. For Gemini, this is happening in your 9th house of God, higher education, spirituality, mysticism, astrology, law, politics, religion, beliefs, long distance trips, pilgrimages, and higher education. Did I say? I said higher education already. Foreign countries, foreign people, foreign things. So there's going to be a new beginning having to do with those topics. For Cancer, this is happening in your 8th house of obligations, joint assets, taxes, loans, debts, inheritances, your partner's money, karmic debts, such as you feeling like you owe something to someone or someone owing something to you, death, and transformation. So there is a new story beginning having to do with those topics, possibly related to occurrences of 2021 as well, during the times around February, June, and December. For Leo, this is happening in your 7th house of partnerships, spouse, one-on-one relationships, romantic partnerships, business partnerships, and clients, as well as clients. So this new moon is going to be happening in a powerful part of the sky for you. It's going to be a significant new moon for you. And it's going to be a serious one, having to do with those topics I just listed. For Virgo, this is happening in your 6th house of daily activities, selfless service, sickness, hard work and toil, workers and employees, and small pets. So there's going to be a new beginning having to do with those topics. For Libra, this is happening in your 5th house of creativity, children, pregnancy, arts, recreation, hobbies, and pleasure. So there's going to be a new beginning, a new seed being planted having to do with those topics. For Scorpio, this is happening in your 4th house of foundations, home, family, ancestry, property, land, and things that are hidden under the earth, things from under the earth, the grave. There's going to be a new start in your life having to do with those topics. For Sagittarius, this is happening in your 3rd house of siblings, extended family such as cousins, uncles, aunts, neighbors and neighborhood, short distance trips and commutes, the life of the mind, communications, reading, writing, teaching, and journalistic activities. So there's going to be a new seed being planted in your life having to do with those topics. For Capricorn, this is happening in your 2nd house of personal possessions, money, personal resources, and assets, including your time and skill set. For Aquarius, this new moon is happening in a very important part of the sky. It's happening in your 1st house, which is about your body, your appearance, your psychology, your character, and your spirit. So this is going to be a new beginning. Maybe you're going to be feeling your sense of self or your identity differently over this next 28 days. And it's going to affect your relationships, one-on-one relationships somehow 2 weeks later. It's going to be a serious time for you, highlighting those topics of body appearance and your character. For Pisces, this is happening in your 12th house of hidden enemies, secrets, self-sabotage, addictions, hospitals, monasteries, retreats, prisons, isolation, and ego loss. So this is happening in a little bit of a tricky part of the sky for you. However, it could be spiritually a very significant time as well. So if you could lean into that, as I said earlier in the collective reading, there could be many richness to be found during this time. That's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can email me. If you find value in these videos, please consider donating to my channel via PayPal. And I'm wishing you all a very, very blessed new moon in Aquarius. And I'll be speaking to you guys soon, 2 weeks later, during the new moon in Leo, inshallah. So take care and speak to you soon. Bye.